You were speaking of a large settlement that Bodie received.
Yeah, and when he started buying all this stuff and spending all this money, I just assumed that it was that money. I didn't know anything about the drug deal and all that. I found out about that when they, I found out when they locked him up and started accusing him.
Barksdale says he was compensated in an undisclosed settlement for the incident that would unfortunately cost him his leg as a young child. Money was put in a trust that he would have access to when he reached a certain age.
I mean, you can call it what you want, but I had to work 3 jobs, a couple of jobs to make ends meet and everything. So I might have had my head in the sand, and by the time I realized it was too late.
Barksdale's transition from hustler to gangster was just getting started. Before the transition, he quickly discovered that the transition was not gonna be easy. Bodie Barksdale, as he prefers to be called instead of his birth name Avon, rose to power through violence, shrewd business savvy, and loyalty from both his crime and biological family. Violence on top of violence helped Barksdale carve out a huge territory to run his lucrative drug operations that brought in millions. But managing that territory was not easy. Bodie Barksdale has the scars to prove it. Barksdale claims he only dished out violence when he was on the defense. He says it was a matter of survival. Now, whether you believe him or not, regardless, there was no shortage of people gunning for Barksdale.
I've been shot more than 20 times, right? And I've been paralyzed. I was temporarily blind, and I got shot. Guys came to the hospital, shot me in the head. Came to the hospital? Yeah, and shot me in my head, and put it in my mouth, came out the back of my neck, right? And I got shot a lot of times. That's so amazing. It was horrible getting shot.
No, that ain't a myth. He still got bullets in him. He was crippled. He was paralyzed for about 6, maybe a year. From what I was understanding, he was holding this guy's hand, shaking it, and some guys came up from behind him and started but he didn't die.
Barksdale is guarded when sharing specifics about violence he may have dished out when he says he was attacked by his enemies, even those incidents that are now public record. Although he's out of jail, he's still on probation, and he's not anybody's fool.
It ain't no statute of limitation on murder, man. Ain't no statute of limitation on murder, man.
But his mom can recall one shooting that she says her son described to her as an accident.
He had shot this guy in the leg and he bled to death. Okay? But that was supposed to have been an accident. It wasn't, I don't know until today if it was drug related.
And the 16-year-old Barksdale wound up with a suspended sentence for manslaughter. Old newspaper articles give a small glimpse of accusations against Barksdale and his lieutenants. Court records documenting numerous charges, incidents, and convictions reveal a spiraling upward trend of violence associated with Barksdale and his operation. As Barksdale built his independent drug empire, he had a low tolerance for mistakes and zero tolerance for messing with his money.
And what would happen to people who didn't do what they were supposed to do?
Well, if it was a situation where he didn't do what he was supposed to do and he was putting everybody at risk, everybody, because all of the guys with me, we were all the alpha males in our family. We were the guys that were the breadwinners, the earners in our family, because dad wasn't home for nobody. And we were dads. So, you put, when you fuck around and sleep on a job, you put me at risk.
Everybody, the whole brother, everything.
Yeah, no school clothes, no Christmas, none of that, So, when he put everything at risk, he pretty, hard knock. Let me put it that way.
Victor Smith was one of Barksdale's lieutenants.
This Victor Vito Smith. This was the youngest guy in my crew, in our crew, right? And he was like 14 or 15. He was a serious man, but he was a teenager. Anyway, and we helped. We ran this territory together. Us and some more of our friends and family members. We ran these projects.
But some of his friends just could not understand why he would associate with someone who had a reputation like Barksdale.
I mean, a lot of dudes was like, why you want to work with him? I guess they was scared and whatnot, but shit, I mean, everything was right, money was right, and you mean a lot of money was going to you? Yeah, I mean,
He was a scary guy also.
Damn near the whole town was scared to death of him anyway, so, I mean, we was gonna do what we was gonna do, so wasn't nobody gonna stop us from getting money where we was gonna go at.
Barksdale's lieutenants were very loyal, but the man who put the dog on Barksdale, Frank Harper, had a loyal group of lieutenants as well. Loyalty on both sides would eventually lead to deadly confrontations.
Yeah, that's right. Time to die, motherfucker, time to die. Time to die, motherfucker, time to die.
Those who know the story say the embarrassed man vowed revenge and put a hit on Barksdale's head. It was a bounty that had no shortage of hunters.
He with a girl, you need to hurry up and get down here right now. He right here, let's get him.
Acting on a telephone tip, the man who Barksdale embarrassed and two other gunmen waited outside for Barksdale to exit the building with a companion.
Yeah, that's right. Time to die, motherfucker, time to die. Time to die, motherfucker, time to die. Time to die, motherfucker, time to die.
To the shooter's amazement, Barksdale survived like he's done so many times before. The shooters found out, they went up to Church Holmes Hospital emergency room, and as he lay there fighting for his life, they proceeded to finish the job. Barksdale survived, like he's done several times before.
There ain't no shit I want to happen again, right?
You got a very specific purpose, let's put it that way. I don't think it's...
Barksdale's loyal lieutenants kept the operation going while Barksdale recovered. However, Barksdale's lieutenants were motivated to avenge the shooting. They allegedly knew one of the shooters and didn't wait long to take action. An alleged contract killer was later found shot to death in a rat-infested basement. It was another battle in a war that was far from over. The violence just kept escalating because of personal grudges, territory battles, and because there was a whole lot of money at stake.
Describe the kind of money your operation brought in so people know.
Big money.
Lots and lots of money. A friend of mine, Melvin, he described it as weigh money. Wow. That's money you have to weigh. You ain't got time enough to count it. You have to weigh it. Now, we done well. We moved it was between never less than 37. Never less than 37 a day. No, a couple times it was like 25, 26,000.
A day?
But, yeah. But,
many years ago?
Oh, this was more than 25 years ago.
See, people make $35,000 a year now, on average.
No, I'm talking about daily. This was...
No, I know. That's what's incredible.
David Simon's article on drug trafficking says court records indicate Barksdale's crew turned a $100,000 drug buy into $500,000 in retail drug sales in a week. The preferred product? Heroin.